The Kepler Station Academy floated silently in the void between stars, its sleek corridors humming with the quiet efficiency of advanced human engineering. Cadet Emma Rodriguez wiped sweat from her brow as she finished calibrating the gravity generators in Section C, her tools clicking softly in the artificial atmosphere. Beside her, Alexander Chen monitored the diagnostic readouts, his dark eyes scanning the scrolling data with practiced precision. "Gravity field stable across all decks," Alexander reported, his voice echoing slightly in the maintenance shaft. "Though I still say we should have upgraded these generators years ago." Emma grinned, her calloused hands already reaching for the next component. "That's what makes us human, Alex. We don't throw away something that works just because it's old. We make it better." Neither cadet noticed the sleek shapes sliding through space toward their station, cloaked in sensor-dampening fields that rendered them invisible to conventional detection. The Vorac hunting pack had been tracking the human training facility for weeks, drawn by reports of easy prey among the young cadets. The first sign of trouble came when the station's lights flickered. Alexander frowned at his readings. "That's odd. Power drain in Section D." Emma's head snapped up, her engineer's instincts screaming danger. "That's not a malfunction. Something's drawing power from our hull." The emergency klaxons began wailing just as the first Vorac breached the outer hull. 7 feet tall with razor-sharp claws and serpentine tails that could crush human bones. They moved through the corridors like liquid death. Their yellow eyes gleamed with predatory hunger as they hunted the scattered cadets. Alexander grabbed his communicator. "All cadets, this is Chen. Unknown hostiles have breached the station. Implement Emergency Protocol 7. Emma was already moving, her mind racing through possibilities. The Vorac were legendary among spacefaring species, apex predators who hunted for sport as much as sustenance. Their tails were their pride, powerful appendages they used to strangle prey and assert dominance over their pack hierarchy. "The armory's 3 sections away," Alexander said, checking his sidearm. "We'll never make it past them." "Who needs the armory?" Emma's eyes gleamed with the kind of dangerous creativity that had made humans the most feared problem solvers in the galaxy. "Follow me." She led him deeper into the maintenance sections, past humming power conduits and atmospheric processors. Behind them, they could hear the screams of cadets and the hunting calls of the Vorac pack. "The ventilation system connects to every section," Emma explained as they crawled through access tunnels. "But that's not what we're going to use." They emerged into the central engineering bay, where the station's primary systems converged in a maze of pipes, cables, and machinery. Emma's hands flew over control panels, rerouting power and adjusting atmospheric controls with the precision of someone who understood every bolt and circuit in the station. "Emma, what are you doing?" Alexander watched nervously as she diverted power from life support. "The Vorac are ambush predators," she said, her voice tight with concentration. "They rely on superior physical abilities and pack coordination, but they've never faced a human engineer who's angry about interrupted maintenance schedules." The first Vorac entered the engineering bay, its yellow eyes scanning for prey. Its forked tongue tasted the air, detecting the scent of the 2 humans hiding behind the massive atmospheric recycler. 3 more of the creatures followed, their tails swishing with anticipation. Emma waited until all 4 predators were inside the bay before triggering her trap. The artificial gravity generators she'd been calibrating suddenly reversed polarity in carefully calculated sections of the room. The Vorac, accustomed to terrestrial hunting, found themselves yanked in different directions by conflicting gravitational fields. But that was only the beginning. Emma had also flooded specific areas with the station's industrial-strength cable material, normally used for emergency hull repairs. As the gravity fields pulled the disoriented Vorac through the air, they became entangled in the strong, flexible cables. The creature's own tails, their greatest weapons, became their downfall. Emma had calculated the gravitational vectors precisely, causing the Vorac to be yanked together in a writhing mass, their powerful tails wrapping around each other, and the cables in an increasingly complex knot. "Now, Alex." Alexander emerged from cover and activated the electromagnetic locks Emma had rerouted to the cable system. The Vorac found themselves bound together by their own tails, wrapped in unbreakable human-engineered cables, suspended in a localized gravity field that prevented any coordinated movement. The remaining 3 Vorac in other sections of the station met similar fates. Emma had turned the entire station into a trap, using its human-built systems in ways the alien predators couldn't comprehend. Atmospheric pressure changes drove them into specific corridors where automated security systems, creatively reprogrammed, captured them with industrial equipment never intended for combat. Hours later, as rescue ships arrived to collect the would-be predators, the Vorac pack leader hung upside down in the cargo bay, thoroughly trussed up by his own tail and the tails of his subordinates. His yellow eyes burned with humiliation as he stared at the small human female who had orchestrated their defeat. "The thing about humans," Emma said conversationally as she checked the restraints one final time, "is that we don't just use tools. We turn everything into a tool when we need to." Alexander shook his head in amazement. "The Galactic Council is going to have a field day with this. Humans defeat legendary predators using maintenance equipment and creative physics." Emma grinned, her hands already reaching for her next project, upgrading the station's defensive systems with some very non-standard modifications. "That's what makes us human, Alex. Give us a problem and we'll solve it. Give us a bigger problem and we'll solve it better." The Vorac pack never lived down the shame of being defeated by a human engineer and her gravity generators. But across the galaxy, other species took note. Humans didn't just survive encounters with apex predators. They turned the predators into teaching examples.